Welcome boys and girls from YouTube. My name is Sloth, this is the Sloth Forge, and thanks a lot for stopping by. In today's video, I want to showcase you the probably strongest Alton team right now for the Continental Challenge. And the team, it is obviously built around Levanis. Now, yeah, this was quite obvious. Levanis is very strong, and once again, she was in Season 1, the strongest hero for Continental Challenge, and once again here in Season 2, she is one of the strongest damage dealers in Continental Challenge. So it was quite obvious that the first week we're going to use Levanis. So I hope that you have her. If not, then maybe you should consider to save some dice for her, because she's absolutely worth it. So let's get into this. First, as you can see, my Levanis, there is nothing special, just built for full damage. As you can see, I'm using just my set from Baldal, just on Levanis, because it is my strongest set right now. As much attack, crit rate, and crit damage as possible. Next, Burnate. So yeah, the team actually is straightforward. It is once Levanis is our main damage dealer, and she does like 99% of the whole damage. Then we're using Centralia, Ursulas, and Burnate just to push her damage as good as possible, so she can deal as much damage as somehow possible. So yeah, the next hero now, Burnate. She is once again in the Emissary's Whisper set. This is a very cool set, and since she is inflicting a lot of very frequently those defense penalty debuffs, we have a very good uptime of the Emissary's Whisper buff. And yeah, nothing special here. Now in the beginning I built her a bit for damage, because she does not deal a lot of damage, but yeah, the main reason why I'm no longer building her for damage is because it is very hard to keep this team alive. Because as you can see, we have one damage dealer, then we have 3 supports, and then we have Yorn. We have no healer in this team. And yeah, you know that those Continental Challenge bosses, they hit harder the longer the battle goes, so it is extremely hard to keep this team alive. In theory, you could use someone else. For example, you could use Torren instead of Yorn, but it is very interesting that even Torren has struggled to keep the team alive. And with a lot of min-maxing and a lot of adjustments, Yorn actually can keep the team alive for the whole fight as well. So this is a very interesting team. So let's get into this. How can Yorn manage to keep your team alive? It is all around the Crescent Ward set. And we're actually building our Yorn with Enlightenment. This is an extremely interesting strategy, but it is very cool. So yeah, we're using the Crescent Ward set, because every single time then Yorn is using a battle skill or his ultimate skill, he heals one of his allies, the ally with the current lowest HP, for 5% of his attack, HP, and also 1000% of Yorn's Enlightenment. So yeah, we're building Yorn now with Enlightenment and the Crescent Ward set. Then I'm giving him the Rift Hourglass, but you could try some other artifacts here as well. I'm not sure what is the best artifact here actually. Now, as there are a lot of different versions of this team or iterations of this team, it was this exact team, but with a lot of different artifacts, some different timings as well. We get to the timings in just a minute. So there is definitely some room for improvement, some room for testing. So stay tuned. Maybe this team will change a little bit. Maybe you guys are using this team or iteration of this team with even better success than I do. Then please let me know in the comments below what you did to even improve your team more. Because, yeah, as I said, this team is quite new and this is a very interesting strategy. So there is definitely some room for improvement. Next, we're using Ursulas in the Inspiration set. Nothing special here. He as well is just built as tanky as somehow possible, while you should definitely focus more on defense than on HP with this exact team for all your heroes, because we don't have a lot of healing. So the more defense we have, the more the healed amount is worth, if you know what I mean. So this is what I would highly recommend you to build your Burnate, Centralia, and Ursulas, also Yorn, with a lot of defense, and prefer defense over HP, even though you need both, of course. You want as much HP and defense as semi-possible. It is extremely hard to keep the team alive, but it is possible. And then finally Centralia, she's in the Brotherhood Spirit set. I'm using her the Downpipe Organ, but I'm very sure actually that there are other better options for the Downpipe Organ as well, because once Levanis transforms, she no longer gets this buff. So yeah, there have to be better options as well. But that's pretty much the team. Let's get into the skill timings. as you can see. Now, those are the skill timings that a lot of people are using right now for this exact team. I tried this team with some different skill timings as well. You could, for example, also actually try to full default those 3 heroes. This works especially then very fine if you have a bit more skill heist on your Bernade. If you're using her on the Emissary's Whisper set, you always have 20 skill heist. But then if you get another 20 or 30 skill heist from your runes, so if you have like 50 skill heist, then I would actually recommend you to use no skill timings on Bernade and then just increase your damage even further. But if not, then yeah, I just showed the skill timings. Stupid me just deleted them and saved. But also, yeah, you can just copy the team code in the description below. They are also the correct skill timings. Now, the idea is just to have a good gap between Bernade and Valvanis. So because it takes your Bernade always a couple of seconds, like at least 2 or 3 seconds, to inflict the defense penalty, so you always want a gap between the timings from Valvanis and Bernade. Another extremely important part is this positioning. Now, this is very important. You have to copy this exact positioning because first, you want all heroes to be in range from Yorn. Because Yorn, he is the one who gives us additional ultimate energy, and then he is also the one who allows us to run within 16 seconds recast timer. So normally, with only the inspiration chat, we have an 18 seconds recast timer, but thanks to Yorn, we can actually use a 16 seconds recast timer. But then everyone has to be in range of Yorn. So this is why you want this exact time, this exact positioning. But there's another reason why you want this exact positioning. For example, if you swap around Centralia and Bernade, for some very weird reasons, Bernade then stays in the front line next to her bear. She just stays then here and does not move any longer. So she is then no longer in range for Yorn, and therefore it gets out of sync. You do a lot of damage because you have way less uptime on your defense penalty, so you want to copy this exact positioning here. This is very important. And yeah, I think actually that's it. Oh, there's one other very important thing. I had a lot of struggle to survive actually, but what helped me so much is the Relentless Pursuit talent. It extends the debuff duration by another 2 seconds, and the main reason why Yorn is so good at keeping your team alive is not because of his heals, because those heals, they are not too big, but they help. They are very cool, they are very big. Not very big, but very impactful. But what makes him so good is his attack penalty. As I said, I compared him to Torren, and Torren was not way better at keeping the team alive. He kept the team alive like another 30 seconds or so, but he also struggled to keep the team alive for the whole 5 minutes. So it's not only about healing, because sooner or later the boss will just burst you down and then you can no longer heal if you get bursted. So this is why the attack penalty here is so impactful as well, and therefore and therefore this talent, sorry guys, I just lost track for a second, and therefore this talent, and therefore this talent, the Relentless Pursuit, is so valuable. And yeah, I think that's it actually. I really hope that I've mentioned everything. And yeah, now what can this team do? As you can see, it did around 390 million was my personal best. I think I've prepared a screenshot here. And yeah, that's pretty much the team. It is a lot of RNG involved here. Just if you look at this run, Alton, once again, he's one of those heroes who fires at random enemies. So, and this 6 times on 2 skills. So it is very, very RNG heavy. Because if you have a good RNG, you have a lot of those skeletons spawned from Ursulas. And if you get lucky, then Alton will just focus always those skeletons. Then you have absolutely no problem to stay alive for the whole 5 minutes. Sometimes you just die 1 minute early because you have very bad RNG, and all of the hits get tanked by Centralia, and she just dies early. Then you lose a lot of damage. So yeah, it is very, very RNG heavy. So you just should try this run a couple of times when you copy this exact team. But yeah, I think that's it. I really hope that this was useful for you. And as I said, if you have any suggestions to improve this team even further, please let me know in the comments below and share your knowledge. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.